types of women that men always regret losing. And the reason why I want to discuss this is not because you need to be looking back, you're the one that got away or anything like that, but it's just understanding how a man thinks. If we regret losing a woman, conversely, we're going to cherish her whenever we have her. So there are different types of women that men put in categories, and it depends on who he is, how his value system is set up, how he sees a woman, how he recognizes her worth. But if you've ever been in a situation and felt like you were taken for granted, if you've ever been in a situation and felt like nothing that you did was ever good enough, and then after the relationship ended, you may have had some thoughts of, man, did I not try hard enough? Did I not try to have the conversations that could have changed everything? How does he feel? Is he broken just like me? More than likely, you need to understand what a man looks at in terms of a woman that he regrets losing, because then for the next man that you do deserve and that also deserves you, you could be the one that he doesn't have to lose in order to appreciate. So let's go into this deep dive. Matter of fact, I'm going to set some things up here real quick so you guys can see the chat. What's going on, Lacey? And I'm also going to bring in the slides because it's going to be a lot of content we're going to cover here. So without further ado, what you're going to learn today, matter of fact, I'm going to change this layup just a tad. And I put this all specifically so you can understand. But first, we're going to talk about the signs that he's hiding deep feelings. Matter of fact, we're not even going to talk about this in any type of order because I just kind of flow. Y'all know me. But we're going to talk about the signs that a man is hiding deep feelings. So from the beginning to the end, you recognize when a man truly has feelings for you or if he plans to use you. Then we're going to talk about the nice girl habits that will get you taken for granted, that will get you played. Again, one of the ways to not end up as the woman that a man got to lose in order to know what he had is to avoid those types of guys who only can look back in hindsight 2020 and realize what they had. Well, quiet as kept, a lot of nice girl habits are what's leading a lot of women today into those traps. And we talked about the traps on a whole nother masterclass. We're also going to talk about how men categorize women. So for those of y'all who are just joining, I talked about that in the beginning. We're going to go in depth. Don't worry if you're missing anything I'm saying. If I'm talking fast, this is why I gave you guys slides. So you guys watch this best I can. Let me see, hide the chat overlay. Next, we're going to talk about the signs that his regret is eating him alive. Okay. And as I say next, I'm not talking about this is going to be in a sequential order. Again, I'm going to flow because for everybody who watches through to the end, you're going to get the PDF. You're going to get the PowerPoint slides of this. Do not worry. So I set it up in a way where I'm just walking you through. Then we're going to talk about the 5 things that run even good men away. Real men, evolved men. I know it's like, hold on, how am I run him away if he want to stay? Y'all ever had a guy that you honestly looked at was attractive and you wanted to give him some, but then he talked himself right on up out of it? Well, even good women can talk themselves out of a decent man, especially if she's only used to being taken for granted. Going to talk about it. Also, the 7 thoughts that he has whenever he fumbles you. So after a man fumbles you, after a man loses you, after you finally stand on business and say enough is enough, there are 7 thoughts that go through a man's mind. And I know number 7, none of y'all know. And the only reason I'm going to say none of y'all know, I've just personally, over a decade doing this, I've never come across a woman that literally already knew this particular thought. And then once you know it, it will give you the peace. It will help you achieve what I call self-closure, even if the relationship wasn't horrible. But we'll get into that. And like I said, the biggest thing we're going to talk about are the types of women that men regret losing. And then kind of as a bonus, I'm going to add in there the subtle signs that an ex wants you back. Ultimately, what you're going to walk away from here with this conversation is how to identify toxic men, how to identify your own undesirable behaviors, how basically getting out your own way, how to make a man respect your absence. Deep dive here. We're going all the way in. And how to skip the line in dating so your blessing finds you quick, fast, in a hurry. So, see what y'all talking about. Okay, I see y'all in the comments. Now, if you're asking yourself, is this for me? I'm going to go ahead and clear that up right now. This is not for you if you don't want anything serious. This is not for you if you don't care about love. You just want money or sex or somebody to say you got somebody. This ain't for you because I don't want to waste your time. Nothing but love for you, but this is not for you. This is not for you if you just need someone to occupy you while you wait on your ex to come back, to get out of jail, to get on his 2 feet, to stop messing with such and such or whatever. This This ain't the conversation for you. This ain't the deep dive for you. And the same for you. If you really don't want to learn, you just want to hear what sounds good. Look, I'm not mad at you. Sometimes hearing what sounds good can just help you get through it, but that's kind of coping. And there are times where I might tell you something and it's strictly going to, feel sweet to hear. But there are times where I really need to tell you the truth that other people will not tell you. And this is one of those times. So if that's you, look, send this to somebody else and you just come back whenever you're ready. Actually, this ain't won't really be available that long. So, but this is for you if your tolerance for wasting time has now come to zero. Like maybe in your younger years, you could wait out a guy's need for growth. You could wait out this situation. But now, if you recognize that you're wasting time, you literally do not have it in you to stomach that connection any longer. This is for you if you're not desperate. You're not desperate, but you do want something real. Like you understand that it doesn't require you to not want love in order to love yourself. Like the two can coexist. This is for you. This conversation right here is for you. If you've never felt 100% safe in any romantic relationship, like from beginning till end, not like a moment, not a month when things were going well, not a couple of months whenever you were, fooled and thinking that you were getting the real thing, but honestly, it just turned out to be a lie. But if from beginning to end, you've never had a romantic relationship where you felt 100% safe, able to take your hands off the steering wheel, just know that a man's got your back. Like you ain't got to have it all figured out because you got a man in your corner now. If you've never had that experience from beginning to end, this is for you. And this is also for you if you know you deserve more than what you've received in the past. Matter of fact, if this is for you, type yes down in the chat. I want to know if this is for anybody that I'm talking to. Type yes down in the chat if this is for you. Type yes. All right. See y'all in here. So, again, let's jump on into it. Let's not waste no time. Long as I know I'm talking to somebody, we good. Signs he's hiding deep feelings. Now, why would a man even hide deep feelings? A lot of what, okay, let me just start over. We perceive a masculine and confident man as somebody who honestly don't care nothing about rejection, failing, or anything like that. That's not the case. A confident man is a man who says, okay, I may be afraid of something. I may be reluctant to do something, but I'm going to operate judiciously. I'm going to operate with some level of discernment so that I can have success on the other side. That's honestly, that's as confident as you're going to get. That's why they say even courageous men feel fear, but it's about what we do about it that sets us apart from the cowards. So the courageous and the coward both have fear. The confident man and the insecure or the scary man, they both have a reluctance to go in something they don't quite know if it's going to pan out. So what a man will do is he'll hide his feelings until he feels like his chances for success are actually high. In fact, I would say this, what a lot of women mistake as a man's confidence is actually a man who doesn't care. When you get the guy who's talking to every woman, don't care. He don't care if you with 10 women. He don't care if you're showing signs of disinterest. Think about the guy who you told straight up, I don't want you. I'm not interested. And he just kept going forward. You wasn't even playing hard to get. You wasn't playing at all. I don't want you. And he kept going. That's the man who honestly don't give a damn. Like that's that guy. But the guy who is serious about you or potentially serious about you, he's going to force a time, reserve, suppress, hide his feelings. There may be times where he's honestly not even ready to admit that he has those feelings that he has for you. But what he'll do in that time is also try to create a space where he can actually succeed if he does go ahead and say, okay, I'm ready to move forward. I see that she's ready. She likes me. We're on the same page, etc. So here's one sign. If a man rambles about his dreams, not his ex, not his glory days, dreams. Why is that important? Two factors. One, he's thinking in the future and he's thinking positively. And him bringing you into that says that that's where he sees you. Somebody in his future and somebody he wants to build something positive with. Okay? So if you got a man that rambles about his dreams and he rambles about what he wants to create, he rambles. That's important because this means that he's so comfortable with you, he's getting lost in that. Like you're now becoming his safe space. And I'm very specific on that. Not his ex, not his glory days, not once upon a time, because now he's probably using you as a coping mechanism or he's still in love with his ex. Okay? So one sign that a man is hiding deep feelings for you, if you got that dude in the friend zone or you got that dude at work, a sign, not proof, but a sign is whenever he starts rambling about his dreams to you. Very different from boasting, by the way, but let's move on. Also, one sign that a man is hiding deep feelings is if he inquires about your attraction to other men. So if he's cool, and I'm talking again, honestly, this could go if he's in a relationship or not. If he's in a relationship, of course, you don't want to entertain that. That's a whole different bag of cookies. But if a man is single, right, he's available. And he, as you mentioned, a man, maybe y'all are friends, maybe y'all just acquaintances. And the moment you mention a man, he starts asking around, you like him? I mean, is that the kind of guy you like? I mean, is that he's the high? I mean, are you attracted to him? I mean, if he starts inquiring about your feelings or potential attraction to another man, likely he has an investment there. He cares. You see, when a man only wants you for sex, he don't care if you like other men. Don't make him no difference. He just gonna get what he wants from you and he out. But when a man wants your heart, he wants to know who else has access to that. Another sign is whenever he randomly and consistently does thoughtful things for you, a thoughtful gesture here, a thoughtful gift here. And again, I say randomly and consistently because it's not just for a moment. Just for a moment says he wants to get something out of the deal. Okay. Randomly, meaning you don't have to ask him for these things. He wants to. He's in. That's when a man in his masculine core is in the presence of femininity that he wants to have continued access with, because the masculine loves to give. And we also understand the feminine loves to receive. So what he'll do is he'll look for ways to add value to your life, even if it's just putting a smile on your face. Another way to know that the man is likely hiding deep feelings for you is if he texts back quickly, fast. Now, I know you may be saying, well, Derek, what if he's busy? If he's busy and you're the woman that he's just like, okay, I'm looking for that green light where I know we can move forward and have something special. That man, again, fast is kind of subjective, not literally within seconds, but you're not going, I'm going to just put a number to it. You're not going more than 3 hours without a text back or reply back from that man if he's hiding deep feelings about you. Now, if he's just attracted, just intrigued, y'all are just starting to get to know each other, that's one thing. But if he's already been around you enough, gotten acquainted or whatever, if he's starting to fall for you, he's going to have a special ringtone for you. And I'm not capping. Dude will have a special ringtone for you just so he knows whenever you text. He'll look at his phone randomly just to see if you might have already texted or called him. That's how much you'll be on his mind. And I'm talking about from the busiest man to, hopefully he's busy because he should be working on something. But even if he's retired, he's going to be looking at his phone. He's going to be wanting, like, is she thinking about me? If she, when can we have a conversation? Or what? So that's one way. If you got to beg a guy for text back in a timely manner, he ain't there yet. Maybe he ain't there at all. Maybe he ain't going to never be there. So you need to discern whether or not you've invested enough of yourself, your time, your energy, your physical to require a man have deep feelings for you. But again, they're under the surface if he hasn't yet expressed them, but he's applying back fast, real quick. And then lastly, because this is kind of similar to when a man wants to give, is whenever he encourages or supports you without you having to ask. He encourages and supports you without you having to ask. He'll invest in you. And I'm not talking about he's going to pay all your bills, but you got something going on. You got something that you've expressed to him, your dreams or something like that. That man is going to let you know, hey, look, if anything I can do, let me know. I think you can do it. I believe in you. I've seen you achieve so many different ways, so many different times. Hey, look at this sister right here. She ain't got half the talent and skill that you got. And she did something close to what you're trying to do. So I know you're going to crush it. Like if he just randomly looks for ways to build you up, push you forward, that man has a deep investment in you. He wants to make something happen. That making sense so far? Hopefully. Now, here are the things that could get in your way. These are things that will help you run even a good man away. Now, why would he run? Good men are interested in a union they won't later regret. Again, this whole deep dive, this whole basically masterclass, because that's what it's lining up to be, is about understanding the power that regret has on a man and how we really trying to run from that. Before we run away from you, we really trying to run away from regret. We're not resilient like women are. We're not equipped to bounce back from emotional trauma, even that which we cause. We're not. I know it's like, no, nobody is, Derek. Of course, y'all aren't either, but y'all are a lot more emotionally resilient. I've seen women that have gone through hell and back, and you couldn't even tell unless they told you. But if a man has gone through hell and back, it shows. Women depressed, got drinking problems and everything else. So a man will run now as opposed to facing regret later if what you signal is problematic. And I've only seen good women do these things if they're so used to a man that took them for granted. They just haven't been reprogrammed for what it is that they want. So I'm gonna move quickly. Desperation in any form. any type of desperation, any type of void. So that can be financial, that can be physical, any type of desperation will make a good man, run the other way. Subtle hostility, especially when a man is innocent. He's done nothing wrong. He means you no harm. Now, it may be something he may not initially understand, but if you can bring it to his attention, this won't count because sometimes hostility is absolutely warranted. But be very mindful that you're not carrying a resentment from the guys who played in your face on into any new situation. Now you're getting in your way because you're not as soft and kind and just bubbly like you normally are. This is why I'm so mindful about y'all putting up boundaries and standards so no man can come and taint your heart. No man can have you guarded up, unable to receive love and masculine contribution. Another thing that will run a good man away is being overtly sexual towards other men in his presence. Now, this is specific to whenever a man is established, he wants to date you, he wants to court you, he's taking you seriously, he wants to build something with you. Be very mindful because some of y'all are so sensual, and that's a beautiful thing. But it's just like anything else that's powerful, but it has to be tamed. Like it has to come under management. So if you know that naturally you're a sensual woman, you're a sexy vibe, nothing wrong with that. But especially when other men are in his presence, you cannot give that energy off. Why is that important? Because that's the type of women he used to just play with. That's the type of woman that would have the other guys in his circle looking at him crazy like, oh, this who you took serious? And so what you got to be mindful of, if you are a sensual woman, maybe you coming out of a season of your life where you were just having fun and now you want something serious. Be very mindful about your sexual energy. You know what sexual energy is. You know how you look at a man. You know the type of closeness or the amount of time he can spend hugging. You know, ladies, y'all know. Think about what a woman may do to your man that in front of you will make you uncomfortable. That energy, not going to happen. Not good. Also, if you guys are dating, him having to pull teeth to get you to reciprocate interest. And a lot of women make this mistake. If you're a traditional woman, you believe in a man that's going to pursue you and court you, I'm down with it. I'm down with it. But if the interest is not being given according to what he's investing, that's going to make a good man say, dang, well, what I'm going to deal with in a relationship? Because what a lot of women don't understand is that a man's happiness matters to him, even if it don't matter to people that say happy wife, happy life. So if a man feels like, man, in a relationship, I'm going to have to like beg. I'm going to have to go it out. I'm going to have to supplement. And of course, that means cheating. Then he's like, I'm going to just stay away from that because I know I'm going to regret reducing myself to that or going back to that if I've ever been on it. And then the last thing is jealousy towards other women. Do understand how you treat, how you regard other women matters. Why? Because if that man got a mama, that man got sisters, or that man has daughters or plans on having daughters, he don't want any of that clash between his lady, his wife, and those other women that are just friends. Now, that don't mean that you can't set boundaries. If he got a friend girl that's doing a little too much or anything like that, that don't mean that you need to be docile or voiceless. In fact, I'm going to tell you why. That's the exact opposite of what you need to be. But jealousy, hostility towards other women, one of the sexiest things, ladies, talk to you real quick. One of the sexiest things is whenever you can give another woman her props because you know it don't threaten your worth. To an evolved man, a woman that can give another woman her props, a woman that don't mind helping out other women, another woman that sees the good in other women because you know that doesn't threaten your worth. It says confidence. It says if your man is even thinking, oh, like I just see she highlighted another woman, let me go over there, then that's good riddance for you. It's so sexy. So do understand that matters, how you deal with other women. Now, with that being said, we don't want to get too nice because the whole nice girl thing can really get you taken for granted. And some of y'all are nice girls and you already have been through this before. So here are the nice girl habits that you need to stop immediately. Overly available. Okay. Being overly available out the gate. Now, during the relationship, serious relationship, absolutely open up your full schedule, be available to this man. But I'm talking about in the very beginning. Do not be overly available. Think about how we treat tap water versus how we treat diamonds. Tap water gonna be there. We'll leave it running. We'll go in the next room. We'll leave it running overnight just to protect the pipes whenever it's a cold season. Being overly available is like a relationship sin. So if you are a nice girl and you care about him and you like him, you still need to have a boundary with how available you are to him. That means physically. That means at night when he want to call you. That means spontaneous. In which if he's a grown man, spontaneity should not come before intentionality. So yeah, it's nice if he wants to pop up and do a nice trick for you, but if he just think he can just call you on a whim because he's in town and pull up on him, no. And if you're overly available, he's going to take you for granted. Let him miss you. Another way, another nice girl habit that gets you played is falling in infatuation. Not love, but infatuation. And so the women that suffer from this the most are the women that believe in the soulmates and immediate twin flames. I'm all for soulmates. I'm all for twin flames, but I believe that everything has to be built. Everything has to be cultivated. So if you're a woman that gets infatuated, more than likely you have an idea of love. You have a belief in love. And this man comes in, he triggers just the possibility that this could be that. But the thing is, if you immediately jump to that, you'll contribute, you'll bring yourself forward. The version of you that is in love for a man who is nothing more than just an infatuation right now, because you're already in love with your idea. So be very mindful that you're not falling in infatuation. In fact, I would say let him earn you. Okay? Let him earn you. Another nice girl habit, you think you're being nice, but really you're not being kind to yourself, is silencing yourself. Not saying what it is you want, need, how you feel. No, let him hear you. In fact, a real man that really loves you and wants to love you, he wants to know exactly what's on your mind. What's going on? What do you have a problem with? No shooting in the dark. I want to know exactly the roadmap to get from A to Z so I can have Z more consistently. That's how a real man operates. All right? Let him hear you. And then one more nice girl habit is you carrying the conversation, you carrying the connection, you continuing to plan the dates. You the one double, triple, quadruple texting whenever he ain't messaged you back last night or the day before. No, let him court you. Let him prove his leadership capacity. Let him show his assertiveness and how seriously he takes the getting to know you process with him being assertive. If you are a feminine woman, by the way. Okay? Because there are two categories a man will put a woman in. The first category is the woman that he just wants to enjoy a moment with. And typically, especially for those of you who are good women, you want something real. Like I said, if you're watching this to this point, hopefully you fit in that category. I told you who this is for and who this is not for. You want something real. But your heart is not set up for that moment. You can't want something real and keep entertaining temporary men or men who have temporary intentions. But then there's the other category of women, and that's the woman that he wants to build a life with. Okay? So for the woman that he just wants to enjoy the moment, that's the man blasting off once he gets whatever he wants. There are three things that he sees in her or he thinks he sees in her. And that's one, that she's good, but not ready. She's good, but not ready. And I've seen a lot of women fall into this category because, again, they have not healed. They have not done the work. It's not just time alone and apart from your ex. It's literally doing the work, taking the steps, using the strategies, using the resources. And I've seen this more prevalent in women who do not invest in themselves. It's like they invest in makeup. They invest in their hair. They invest to look good, but they don't invest in their heart to be in position for the man who's going to take good care of them. And I ain't trying to step on no toes, but like I said, it's going to be one of them conversations where I might hurt your feelings a little bit, but it's with love. I'm your big brother. I'm always going to look out for you. But if you have not put thousands of dollars into your looks, and you have not put thousands or whatever dollars into your well-being, resources, whatever it is, whatever it may be, it ain't got to be for me, anybody. You got to be very mindful that your way is working. Because if it's not, then that's the missing piece. Good, but not ready. Okay? Another thing that a man will see in a woman that he just wants to enjoy for the moment is that she'll settle for less, as long as it feels good enough. Now, these are the women that tend to get caught in situationships. They get caught in being strung along for years because they're so caught up on the feeling of good that they don't realize it's not good enough. It's not right. It's not appropriate. It's not adequate. It's not at your standard as a queen. So if a man sees that you'll settle for less, so long as it feels good enough, even if he wanted to invest in you, he wouldn't feel confident that you could deny other men who also present feel good. He doesn't even feel like the standard was high enough to where other men can't reach, but he can because he put in the work. I know this is, again, I know this is going to bother some of y'all. Tough love, but I got you. I'm your big brother. This is what I would teach my daughters. This is what I would mentor my sisters. And I'm straight up, y'all are my sisters. I'm telling you the truth. And also the woman that speaks standards but will not stand on those standards. The ultimatum she won't hold, the boundaries she won't hold, the da 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 da. If you show any of these, a man will want to enjoy you just for the moment. Now, how a man measures this and what he does about it is all on him and his character. Just because a man does this or sees this in you doesn't give him a right to play in your face or string you along. He's still trash. He's still immature. Like I want to be very clear. Just because a man played in your face don't mean I'm giving him a pass because you weren't ready or you didn't stand on boundaries when you had the chance. Like, be very here. Now, that a man regrets. Hold on. Is what I'm saying making sense so far, guys? Let me know if what I'm saying is making sense. Matter of fact, it's taking a little while to load the next slide, but that's okay. That's okay. So let's talk about the kind of woman that a man wants to build a life with. This type of woman has invested in and reserved herself for only the best. Nothing less will do. When a woman has invested in and reserved herself for nothing less than the best, that man sees that and says, oh yeah. So those of y'all who got, you got your yoga or you got your meditation, you got your books, you do your podcast, maybe you've even gotten a life coach, maybe you've gotten yourself a mentor. Don't think it's all financial. It's not all financial, but if you've invested in yourself, a man is like, oh wow, she takes herself seriously. And I know that that's what leads to overflow. We don't naturally come equipped to have these types of capacities. So that overflow, I get the benefit from that, but then it's reserved. When we see a good woman that's taking her time in the dating scene, not shut off from everybody, but just like, hey, I ain't in no rush. That is so attractive. Because again, it says your default, if we ever fall out in a serious relationship, ain't going to be going back to the streets. It's going to be with yourself. We fell out, but guess what? Time is going to be taken. Space is going to be taken if it's needed. And we'll fix this thing, or I'm going to leave. But I'm not just jumping ship. Another thing that a man sees in a woman that he wants to build a life with is a woman who can and will deny even her own desires for what she deserves. I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of women say, well, I don't want to show any sexual desire for this man. I don't want to show any attraction for this man because I don't want to think I'm a hoe. Nah, I'm gonna give y'all some game real quick. And this wasn't even, I wasn't even planning on talking about this. But when a man sees that you want him, you desire him, you find him attractive, but we're not crossing that line. It says, oh, it's there for me. She doesn't not like me. She doesn't not desire me. She just has management over her flesh. She has management over her impulses. So what that says is, okay, in a relationship, one, all of that's there waiting for me. But just because she leaves the house or is around some girls or is out on a girls trip, women's trip, whatever, don't mean anybody can have access to it. Because what her commitment is, both one, first and foremost, to herself, and then to anybody else, that comes before even her ability to act on those desires. Again, I know some of this ain't gonna feel good to you, but if you ain't there yet, that's fine. But this is some of the play. Hopefully you're seeing where you can work on you. Okay. And then one more thing is, like, as a woman, she gives the benefit of the doubt, but she knows how to permanently revoke it too. She don't come in so guarded where she don't believe nothing I say. She gave me some benefit of the doubt, not full, but some. But if I play with it, it's gone. That's the kind of woman a man says, okay, yeah, I like standards. It pushes me, it challenges me, it pulls me up higher. Now, a man who's not ready to build a life, period, he will only avoid or try to change this type of woman. He's only going to, this is the type of woman that will intimidate him if he's not even ready to build a life. Because you'll have guys who will come across you. You may fit all of those, right? And the man will see you and say, I don't want no parts of it. And that's actually a good thing, because the converse, the other side of that is a man will try to use you to build him up for another woman, or change you. Change those things about you that make you so special. Manipulate you. Now, get into it. Boy, we're moving fast too. Told y'all. These are the types of women men regret losing. Okay. Don't worry about taking a screenshot of this. If you stay through to the end, I'm going to send you a PDF. But the woman who loved him despite his flaws. Now, don't think that that means she didn't love herself enough to walk away if those flaws were deal breakers. Don't think that that means that she loved him so much she wouldn't hold him accountable or there were no consequences, but truly loved him despite all the things that the world judged him for, crucified him for, threw him away for. That woman, in hindsight, that man's going to be like, yo, because what he's going to realize is he's going to get out here with other women and they're only going to use him for his benefits. Them flaws, go on about your business. How much money do you make? How good can you make me look? Will you pay my bills? Will you pay my bills? That's what he's going to find out here. And I'm not saying all women are like that, but I'm just saying, I be trying to tell dudes this all the time, bro. Like, if you got a real one, bro, like, you got to make that work. Because out here in these streets, it's ghetto on both sides. The dating pool got pee in it. Okay, it's not sweet. I don't know what guys be thinking, like, oh, I'm gonna jump out here and get me somebody else. Like, I guess I've been there before. I've been dumb before. And that's why I try to tell dudes, don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. It is not what it might seem when you looking on Instagram and the captions and all the stuff they say is sexy. Every angle fits and up, man. All right. Another type of woman that a man will always regret losing is the one who is willing to grow with him. Now, this is the woman that said, all right, I'm coming up. I'm doing my thing. I'm coming across new things. You should check this out. You might find this interesting. That's the woman that's trying to grow with the man. You already on your trajectory. You're already making things happen. You work hard. You build into yourself. You learn and you trial and error and you're growing. And you bring him into that or you try to. Because if he's dumb and egotistical, he's going to resist that. He's going to blame you for that. Some of y'all have been there before. Man try to blame you because you was trying to help him. You was trying to put him on to new countries that y'all could visit, new things that y'all could do financially, new things you were interested in, higher level conversations, not gossip, banter, just BS time wasting, deeper connections just with the two of you, even growing as a romantic partner. And the reason why a man will regret this type of woman at all times is because he's going to get out here and he's going to see other women are so selfish. Other women are selfish now. They will elevate right past him and then replace him. You ain't on my level? Let me go and get somebody else. Now, I'm not mad at the woman that does that. I'm just saying the one that he thinks back to and says, she tried to tell me. She tried to grow with me. She tried to introduce me to stuff. She tried to encourage me, and I told her she thought she was better than me. That's the one he's going to be like, dang, man, I messed up. But I'm really not mad at y'all who just say, I'm going to just elevate, and you either own this or not, because really the man's supposed to be the leader, and he's supposed to be the one trying to elevate you. So if he ain't on it, I'm really not mad at this woman. I'm just saying it's going to hurt that man in his chest forever if he can look back and say, she actually was trying to facilitate my growth, and I'm the man. Another type of woman a man will always regret losing is the one who communicated her needs clearly, especially if you did it repetitively. And the more you did it, the worse he's going to feel about it. Because there are women out here who honestly would just expect a man to read her mind. And if he fails, he out of there. But if you're the one, because this is what happens after the relationship. And I'm going to get into the thoughts that a man has after fumbling a good woman. But this is what happens. The thoughts ruminate. The thoughts circulate. And what he's going to hear over and over again as he tries to sleep, as he tries to be sober, as he tries to be without another woman to cope with. All the time that you were saying, this is what I need from you. This is what I'm lacking. I need you to show up for me. Oh, that's going to haunt him. Yeah, this is for men and women. And then the last type of woman a man will always regret losing is the one who is tunnel vision on him. She's tunnel vision on her man. Because he's going to get out here and see that other women will keep doors open throughout the whole relationship. That one that got away from them, that one that they can't get over, that one that's still got a soul tie. I be trying to tell dudes this all the time. Like, bro, like you don't realize once you get older and women have experiences, some women have not, again, got a hold of me or somebody else who guides them through this type of thing and gotten the strategies, gotten the resources to cut soul ties and to heal and get back in position for who they deserve and who deserves them. A lot of women have not. Y'all watching this right now, you're in a select few women. Most women are not. That's why you see the ratings on all of these reality shows and whatever. They crazy. Millions and millions and millions of people. There ain't going to be but a couple hundred, couple thousand people that watch this. Y'all in a very select few. And the same thing goes for the woman that's tunnel vision on her man. Whenever she's with her man, everybody else is a blur. And the man don't believe that until he's a part of that blur. Tell me something. I want to check in with y'all. Have y'all ever been this woman? Any of y'all? watching this? You ever been this woman before? If so, type yes down in the chat. If you've been this kind of woman before, let me hear it. I want you to type yes down in the chat if you've ever been this kind of woman. Because I know some of y'all will be able to relate. Some of y'all might not, and that's fine. But those are the types of women, and we are not done yet. We really just getting started. We are just getting started. Okay. I see one yes. I see two or three. That's all I needed to see. Now, let's move on. We'll move fast. We're going to move fast. Now, they're going to be mad at me for this one. These are the signs that a man's regret are eating him alive, tearing him a new one. Okay. First off, if you see that he's highly promiscuous after the relationship, you know that regret is eating him alive. He's trying to feel better. He's trying to cope. He's trying to distract himself. He's trying to give himself a replica of what it is he got from you. But the thing is, he didn't realize until afterwards that it was your spirit, it was your energy that set you apart, not your vagina, not just your mere physical presence. Another sign that his regret is eating him alive is if he goes out of his way to show he's happy. Those of y'all that got your exes and they broke up with you and now they showing a new rollie. If they got a rollie, half time they got that money. But they showing a new car. They showing they out in the clubs. They showing they doing this. They showing they doing that. They got a new chick. She fine. She this. She better than you. She younger than you. That regret is eating him alive. He at least trying to live off the validation, and it's falsified validation that you were the problem and he wasn't. That he's now glowed up. Another way that you know his regret is eating him alive is if he has a smear campaign against your name. He got to go out his way to tell everybody you are the problem, or he's out here telling half truths. Because again, that validation. He don't want nobody to realize that he fumbled a real one. He already got to live with that himself. God forbid everybody else recognize the exact same thing. Another sign that his regret is eating him alive is if he's lurking on your social media. So when y'all see somebody, that fake page keep popping up, but it's consistently watching every story that you post. Or you see his page popping up. Maybe you ain't blocked him yet. But lurking on your social media is a telltale sign. And one more is that he continuously hurts women afterwards. Like, not just, he discards them because he had sex. But if he's getting in serious relationships and then hurting them, especially if you from the outside looking in at least saying, I don't think she's a bad woman. She seems okay. And he's still hurting them. He's never gotten over you. His regret has kept him from evolving and growing as a man so he could at least take whatever he did in that experience with you and be a better man. Now, why is it that a man will regret losing you if he had the chance to cherish you? First off, men learn through pain and through loss, but evolved men have already learned the hard way. However, childish men, they have to still be shown. So if a man refuses to learn, he will spend his entire life coping instead to protect his pride and ego. But evolved men can't even look in the mirror and respect themselves if they choose that route. So we choose the hard route of, dang, I messed up. Can't go back in the past. But I'll be danged if I let this continue happening. I'll be danged if I continue repeating this. Now, with that being said, here are the thoughts a man will have after fumbling you. The first thought is going to be, screw her. Screw her. Screw her. That's that ego. That's that attempt to disregard you. It's like fake it till you make it. F her. Screw her. The next thought he's going to have is, it's her fault. And this is when a man will, in his mind, reach for anything you did wrong, any flaw. She was too short. she was only 5'2". It's her fault. Like anything. I know it sounds ridiculous. But I think Kevin Hart had a special where he was talking about a man will find a way to pick a fight. Every time I come in here, you're leaving the microwave on high. And then figure out something. Like, dudes will try to disillusion themselves just to protect their fragile ego and pride. It's her fault. She should have done this. She should have forgave me more. She did wrong too. And her thinking that she's perfect because meanwhile, he did a whole deal breaker. You did something, but he did a deal breaker. The next thought he's going to have is, I wonder what she's up to. This is where the lurking starts, by the way. I wonder what she's up to. Because she ain't with me and she used to spend all her time with me. What could she possibly be doing now? I ain't heard from her. Then the next thought, man, when's she coming back? When's she coming back? I ain't heard nothing from her. When's she coming back? That's when that thing start hurting. Then the next thought, all right, she ain't came back yet. What I need to do to fix this? F it. I'm just whatever it takes. I'm gonna do it. This where you get the begging, all that kind of stuff comes in. What I need to do to fix it. And some guys will go the manipulative route to try and reel you back in. And some guys will like, shoot, whatever it takes to show you I'm talking to the lady, and they really be doing it. But it's like, what can I do to stop this pain of missing this woman? Then the next one is the acceptance. I messed up. I messed up big time. I fumbled. I dropped the ball. Especially if he ain't getting you back. Because sometimes I know y'all want to restore stuff, but if he ain't getting you back, that's what he's going to be doing. And then the next one is, I can't let this happen again. So again, this doesn't mean he's automatically going to do a good thing. Childish, immature, grown children, they will just go run through a lot of women and say, I'm never going to fall in love again. That's the guy that got his heart broken in 7th grade and he never trusted a woman since. Y'all heard that story? This type of guy will not let it happen again, but in a negative way. Then you have evolved men who say, even if I never get her back, I cannot repeat that pain. I cannot repeat that trauma. So I'd rather just be a better man. I'd rather get my stuff together, take some time, heal, talk to Ayanla, talk to the therapist, talk to God, but I can't let that happen again. And then lastly, and this is a kind of a bonus, because I said 7 thoughts, these are really 8, but if he has children or if he's articulate, he'll get to a space where he says, I won't let this happen to anyone I love. Now he's going to raise his daughters different. He's going to raise his son different. His friends come to him. He's going to be the buzzkill of his friends. I'm not going to tell you to play on that woman's heart, bro, because that ain't nothing to play with. I've been there before. Hell, in a way, this masterclass is me there now. But the truth is, I will not let this happen to anybody I love. Anybody within the sound of my voice that's willing to have more sense than what I did when OGs was trying to tell me the truth, let me go ahead and let them know now. This ain't nothing pretty. If you got a real one, hold on to her, do it right, keep her safe. Because a man's mind after losing a good woman, it's like a war zone. It's like it's constantly embattled. Again, we learn from pain and loss. That don't mean we take it well. We actually don't. And especially if he's the problem, yes, he may grow from it, or he may be coping or something like that, but he's going to try to find a way to prevent that pain from ever happening again. Now, here are the signs that a man wants you back. And this is what you need to look out for. Because he may be in a whole new relationship. I don't know how many of y'all ever been in a relationship and, you know, he's still hitting you up looking for another chance while he got a whole girlfriend, wife, etc. But 3 things you can look at and know that that man wants you back. I don't care what else he talking about. Closure apologies. Hey, I ain't trying to get back with you. I ain't trying to fix stuff. I'm just letting you know. I realized I was the problem. I was wrong. I was toxic and I had a lot of issues. I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. Closure apologies. He wants you back. Now, if you want to go with that, I'm not telling you absolutely no. That's a whole other conversation to discern whether or not a man is safe again to love. That's up to you. But I'm just giving you the game. You do with this information what you will. Spiraling. That's the coping. That's the drinking. That's his life going downhill because now he's in a space where he's just making emotionally impulsive decisions because he's not grounded in his core. He's not okay. Okay. So he wants you back, but really to save him, to rescue him from himself. Don't do that. I will tell you definitively, don't do that. And then temperature checks. Little incidental things to get your attention. It may be kind, it may be not. Little things to either poke you or to see if that door might crack open. But most of this will happen. Be very careful, ladies, in the times where you're vulnerable. Holidays, important dates. You had something coming up. Your graduation came up. Your children graduated kindergarten or 6th grade or high school or college. Be very mindful. Anytime that he hears about a tragedy going on in your life, he's going to look for that open door. Now, let me check in once more because we essentially done, by the way. I want to let y'all know we essentially done. But I got so much more if you want more. Has this been helpful? If so, type yes down in the chat. If this has been helpful, type yes down in the chat. Okay. All right. Good. We good. Now I'm gonna give y'all a bonus because I like over delivering. Here's something men will never admit. And that's that a lot of men will ghost you as a way of bypassing all of this. That's let me just get real with y'all real quick. Y'all be wondering why guys ghost. Why do men ghost? Why don't men just say this? Why don't men just tell me if he's not interested? A man will ghost you because it keeps that bridge unburned. So he can cross it back over again sometime in the future with more BS and waste your time all over again. That's one of the things a man will do. He'll try to avert these consequences. He hurt you, et cetera, et cetera. And what he'll do is leave you loose ends, no conversation, no communication. You ain't did nothing wrong. And he'll ghost you as a way to try and absolve himself of the responsibility of what he's done or done wrong. So a man will ghost you. Now, here's another bonus. Here's the number one sign that a man will ghost you. And that's if he has a dismissive, avoidant attachment style. Some of y'all have heard of attachment style theory. Some of y'all have not. There are big old books on all this other stuff. I don't know why we don't talk about attachment styles like we do the love languages and narcissism and gaslighting, because honestly, the attachment style theory is probably the most profound thing I've ever learned when it comes to romantic relationships. Yes, more than love languages. The attachment style, that's essentially how we developed pair bonding, how we become vulnerable, and how we seek safety whenever we are vulnerable with our love object. I'm putting it in layman's terms real quick because a dismissive avoidant, if you've ever dealt with a guy that shut down or withdrew whenever you guys needed to have hard conversations, that's probably a dismissive avoidant. If you ever dealt with a guy that seemed nonchalant on the surface, but he was really sensitive on the inside, likely a dismissive avoidant. Why is dismissive avoidant attachment style so inextricably linked to a man ghosting you? Because that's the type of guy that wants to avoid conflict. That's the kind of guy that doesn't want to have the hard conversation, disappoint anybody, et cetera, et cetera. Now, there are levels to the dismissive avoidant. This is really layered, by the way. You have the dismissive avoidant that's not at all healed, and that's the one you need to leave. But then you have the dismissive avoidant that was simply abandoned in childhood. They have abandonment issues, but they're aware. They are healing through them. You don't have to throw those away. And the only reason why I say that is because most men who didn't have a perfect childhood with emotionally attuned parents, or they've had any type of situation where they had to do for themselves and raise themselves, they likely have some level of dismissive avoidant attachment style. But again, you have to know how to recognize that, what level that man is in, and if he is self-aware, how to come in as an ally to his healing out of that attachment style, because it can be healed, it can be rewired. Without you getting so invested, you lose yourself. Now, I just want to know something, true or false? Being the woman that he cherishes while he has her is better than being the woman that he loses and then regrets it later. Type your answer in the comments, true or false? Let me just open up, let me see the chat real quick. True or false? Being the woman that he cherishes while he has her is better than being the woman that he loses and then regrets it later. Y'all let me know, true or false? Okay, I see some trues coming in. Grace says true. I know that's a lot, but I personally have come to believe, and this is based on my experience personally and professionally, it's almost a smack in the face if a man gets it together after the fact. He done wasted years of your time. He done wasted your love. Now you got to heal. So yeah, it's nice to be the woman that he regrets and feels bad about losing, but like you'd really rather be the one he ain't got to fumble first in order to know how to love you. Okay, so y'all saying true. Now let me tell you the solution, because I don't like bringing up problems without bringing up solutions. Here's a solution in a nutshell. First, identify the unhealed, childish, and toxic man immediately. Identify the unhealed, toxic, and childish man immediately. Know the immediate red flags. Know the instant red flags. The instant signs that that's not it. That's the first solution. Okay. Secondly, recognize and replace your own toxic behavior. On the games that manipulators are playing. Never get behind on these games. Every year they change. New social media tactics, new text messaging tactics, new things that they may say. These podcasts are spitting stuff out, rhetoric to help men play games. You need to always stay up to date. You need a man or somebody in your life who you trust to help you, that's going to help you stay on top of the games as they are evolving. Now, with that being said, if you want my help, type yes in the chat. Type yes in the chat. If you want my help, if you want me to be the one to help you, because I can help you, like I've helped thousands of others. If you want my help, type yes down in the chat. Okay, I've seen some yeses. Because some of y'all I've seen in the comments saying, well, yeah, I don't know how to get a hold of this or that. How do I get a hold of you for questions? How do I get a hold of any courses that you might have on any specific things? So I'm going to go through a quick run through. All right. If you want my help, let me give you the options. Happiness, the big brother advice you never knew you needed. Okay. Now, this is not available publicly yet. It will be in about 2.5, 3 months. But this book is what I'm honestly, I made this book because I want to mentor my daughters on everything in here. It's about 70 chapters, most comprehensive book I have. Everything that you ever hear me talk about is already in this book. Okay. So if you ain't got a ton of money, this is a great option for you. Just keep an eye out for it. But there's multiple ways to get my help. All right. The next option to get my help, let me go down to the bottom so you guys can see. Understanding the dismissive avoidant man, to love or leave. Like, what stage is he at? How deep in is he? How do you recognize the red flags that this man is a hopeless dismissive avoidant, and you need to leave him now before he ghosts you? Because again, this is the number one sign that a man is going to ghost you if he has this dismissive avoidant attachment style. However, that don't mean he's automatically a throwaway. So if you ever have a situation where you feel helpless, where you want to love a man, he's going through, but he just bottles it up, he suppresses, and you want to know how to love him, you want to know how to be the ally in his healing, you want to know how to understand him, how to speak to him, speak life into him, because he's a good man, but he has that kind of way of putting everything on his shoulders. That's the program for you. It's $497. And the website is somewhere on here on the channel, somewhere in the description or whatever. I have my moderators posted at the end. But that's just one of the programs. Another program that I have that will be helpful for you if you want the solution to being a woman that a man always looks back in hindsight and realizes that he fumbled, my program on how to identify a grown child instantly. There are things that a man will say. There are questions that you need to ask in order to get him to say if he is a grown child, a man who never grew up, a man who needs to be coddled in order to think that he's being loved. If you want to know how to identify a grown child, which will likely waste your time if you don't, that program is for you. That is $497. Okay. Next, how to be an evolved man's peace. This one is about removing your own undesirable behaviors, your non-seductive behaviors. So many of y'all will seduce a man right up out of his common sense if you didn't do a few things. So when I say peace and an evolved man's peace, that's completely different from what we hear on social media. The man who is evolved looks at peace completely different. And for women who have used these strategies, I've seen them, I'm talking about beeline to the altar. A man that's evolved and he recognizes you're a growth-oriented woman, he already says, I want to be with you. I want to start something with you. As we see these people getting married in 3 months, 6 months, 2 months, is because that man already had identified this woman as the one. But there's certain things that you can do to cause a delay or to help that acceleration. And that acceleration is going to come by you not getting in your own way. Now, that program is $997. Again, I'm going to put the link so you guys can get access to all of these at the end. And then lastly, I would recommend lifetime access into my mentorship group. If you ever heard me talk about something just in general on social media, a question that I'm answering, it came from one of my mentees in my Self-Crown VIP group. Every single week I take questions. I even at times will do a one-on-one, which is rare, but it does happen. And that mentorship is $564 a year. Now, all of the above, if you're saying, well, I could get value from all of this, it's going to be $2,602, a little over $2,600. I know some of y'all got it. It's a drop in the bucket. And maybe you're not really in a rush to get all of the value from these programs. So you'll just get them as you want to go, as time goes on. But I always try to do something for those who are ready, and they're ready now. Like, you're not just talking, like you about it. Right? Like, you're worth it. You will act on it. You will move on the information if you just had access to it. And that's a discount. I don't know, like 90-something% off, where you can get literally all of these programs, including my new book that's not out to the public. You can get it now. This ebook and audiobook in my voice for only $147. Moderators, post the link. Post the link somewhere so that the people can get access. Those who are ready to act right now. You're not trying to delay your destiny any longer. You're not trying to keep wasting time. You want access to the strategies right now. If that's you, click the link that you see at the bottom. Click the link that you see at the bottom, because for the next 150 people, I'm going to make it only $147, one-time payment. Literally all of this content, which is a ton of content, and only 150 because, again, you're going to get access to me and my Self-Crown VIP, and I'm only one person. I can't answer 1,000 questions, and this is going to fill up quick. So if you want access to that, click that link, and it will give you access to it. And to make it a no-brainer, I'm going to add in a few more programs, absolutely free. Dating as an Empath series, because I realized through the last masterclass that I did, a lot of you are empaths and you needed a deep dive. So I have a 4-part series on dating as an empath, and you're going to get that included free. If you're ready to receive your destiny, your man now, then this is something I highly recommend, but it's totally up to you. You know, you do whatever you want to do. I just give you the information and opportunity, and what you do with it is on you. And if you want the rest of the attachment series, especially if you're a woman that's developed somewhat of a reluctance in being vulnerable, in loving again, and believing in love again, you might have a fearful avoidant attachment style. There's 4 total. If you're a woman that needs to resolve conflict, or else your central nervous system is dysregulated, so you might call. You might fall in love really quickly with a man. You likely have an anxious, preoccupied attachment style. And then we all should be trying to heal towards a securely attached style. But I go in depth in my whole series. The other 3 modules on the attachment style series are $497 each. I'm going to add that in free, but only for those who want all of these programs today. Again, right now at the link, it's already posted. I see it down there and think it's in the blue. Click the link if you want to be one of those who gets it at about 90-something% off. I don't know. It's kind of a ridiculous offer. But again, I have such a great deal of respect for people who don't just talk about it. They want to be about it. So if that's you, click the link and you'll get access to me, and make it even more of a no-brainer, because I know this kind of can be scary. If you've never invested in yourself, you never put no money in yourself and your well-being and getting the results that you want, it can be scary. That's okay. One, I'm going to give you my 30-day money-back guarantee, because one thing I know about people who are ready and ready now, they act, they move, and they actually get good results. So I have so much confidence in this that if you're not blown away by the results that you get, I'll give you your money back. You just send me an email, send my team an email, no questions asked. You're getting your money back, 30 days or less. Okay. And for the rest of you, I'll see you when I see you. But for those of you who get in, make sure you check your email and get on the next live chat so I can answer your question personally. All right. That'll do it.